Welcome back to BVarsity Live. Oh, I'm split screen with a chair. Trevor just got up because just coming into the house right now, our Highland track stars, Moises Medrano and Justice Smith, are in the house. Is Rick Mayberry going to come in too? Now I'm split screen. Wow, it's like the Matrix. I'm in a different dimension. But we are here in studio downtown Bakersfield with a couple members of the Highland track and field team, I should say. Moises Medrano, distance runner extraordinaire, middle distance, long distance, you kind of do it all. Justice Smith, just back from injury, right? Yeah. And jumping again, and then Coach Rick Mayberry on the end. Welcome, Coach. We appreciate you guys being here. Just real quick tip, when you
Rick,
talk,
get right
mic.
on
the mic. Yeah. That's the only thing we ask. Everything else, we have fun.
Live broadcasts, gotta love them. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
So, Moises, I want to talk about your performance at Arcadia first in the mile.
All right.
Very impressive. Obviously had a very impressive season thus far. Most important meets are to come, but how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Like, Arcadia was a good race. I wasn't really expecting that high of a finish, but third place, like, just how the race developed was good. I'm excited for the rest of the season, but I'm torn between two events. But I'm hoping to get, like, sub 410 later on in the season.
In the 1600?
Yeah, 1600.
Okay. So you say you're torn between two events, and you're referencing the 800 and the 1600. Yeah. Obviously, you have the speed to compete in the 800, but maybe you feel like that could serve you better in the 1600. So where are you at on that decision right now, and when does that have to be made?
I don't know. I'm still torn between. I don't know if I'm going to try doubling or if I'm going to try just focus on one, but the decision will probably be made at Valley. I'll be doing both at area and make my decision day of Valley. And then
at Valley, you're going to have to hone down on one to kind of save your energy. Let's skip down to you, Coach. Where you have a say in this too, I know. The 800 or the 1600, break down kind of Moises' decision here for us, his strengths and weaknesses in each event.
Get up on that mic, Rick. Right up on it.
Actually, it's really not my decision because once we get past league, I want them to be comfortable with what their decision is, what they do. But it's a hard one to say. I mean, and also got to take in consideration what the competition's like. But he's very strong in the 8, and I think he can go a little bit quicker. And in the mile, he's just tapping his potential, I think. At Arcadia, had he had a little more confidence to maintain with the top runners, I think he'd have been right there because he had a mega kick at the end.
I should mention you were third in the mile at Arcadia. I don't think I said that. Third, right? Yeah. Justice Smith, let's bring you in here. You obviously a great season last year. This year you started on the shelf. You were injured. Describe to us what happened there.
I was in the middle of running the 4x1 at our first meet at Liberty. I felt it tighten up, and I've felt that before due to
hamstring, right?
Yeah, hamstring injuries. So I just slowed down. We didn't finish the 4x1. I went to my mom. I was like, "This is happening again." So we just, for the past couple months, we just been taking it easy with a lot of physical therapy, hot and cold treatments, and so far, I think it's going good, considering my what I performed at Arcadia.
I was going to say you came back and immediately went 37,
11 and a quarter.
Almost 38. Yeah, I mean, just a terrific jump. Became the central section leader in the triple jump in one attempt. Were you expecting that out of yourself? I mean, you had to be a little surprised to come right out of the gates like that.
I was surprised. I was just coming to compete 100%. I wasn't expecting any marks, just to compete full out, and I'm pretty pleased with what I performed, how I performed.
Now, the hamstring obviously can be a recurring thing, something you got to worry about. What are you doing to make sure that something like that doesn't happen again? Is it as simple as I just need to stretch it more, I need to rest more? I mean, what kind of goes into that?
Definitely rest, icing, and stretching. Make sure I get a good warm-up before I do anything.
Being hopeful for no more cold weather meets.
Yeah. Yes, it is kind of hard to stay warm when there's cold weather. So just taking into those 3 factors.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the high today was like 77, and my daughter walked out for kindergarten and said, "It's cold, Daddy, it's cold." She's a true Bakersfield kid.
She is true Bakersfield. Yeah. I want to get into something. I wrote an article last week for the Arcadia Invitational. First time I haven't been there. Moises, my bad. I was looking at CIF sanctioned events for the most part, and then that split medley relay for BHS I missed your mile, and I apologize. That was an incredible event. We watched the video today on Arcadia. You're in like 7th place halfway through, and then you guys get into the final lap, and you're still in 6th place, and then right about 200 meters left, you kicked it in. What was it? Is that kick that you know that you have in store that's really kind of making you wonder maybe the mile is your, the 1600 is your event this year? Or is it just you're like, wow, I got something more in me?
No, like I always knew I had a kick. Like that's how I was used to running, except for like last year I kind of got away from it. But yeah, going into the race, I told myself I was gonna be tactical and play it safe, kind of, because there's supposed to be big names in there. And then when it just came down to, I was feeling good that last lap, but I stayed calm. Unlike what I did in Zeus, I kind of panicked. So this time I told myself I'd stay calm, and when it came around like last 250, the other California runner in there that was with me, he started making his move, and I decided to go with him, and I just took out stronger and pushed all the way through to the line.
I thought about last year, and you go back to Patriot Games. It was raining. You're right behind Curtis Threkel, who's now at Cal State. That was Patriot Games last year, right? Where it was a little bit raining.
League. That was our league.
Was that league?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was raining that day.
Yeah.
That was that funky day where we had to end. It was like a
buckets
river
raining that
going
day.
through.
Yeah.
And we were all huddled. Oh, that's right. That was the day we were all huddled under the tent, hoping that it would pass, and it never passed. Was that day when you knew that the 800 could be something special for you? Seeing what Curtis had done, being that 7th guy in the last 8 years to win the section in the 800 from Kern County. Did you look at yourself and go, okay, I'm watching all these other dudes that are seniors moving on. This is it. This is mine.
Racing the 800 with Curtis, that helped a lot, like confidence. But not really at that point. At that point, I was still kind of nervous. Like, I didn't think I had the speed or the true speed endurance to go the whole 800 as fast as they do.
Yeah.
But that was started my confidence booster, and then just this year, just started coming out, like not really thinking about, worrying about it, going in there just to compete, and the times came out.
Justice, it's different for horizontal jumps this year than it was last year, huh? Because
Yes,
you had
it
so
is.
many graduate. You had Ty Wallace, who was our female athlete of the year in track and field last year. Then on the boys' side, Coop's not here anymore. Lawrence White's not here anymore. Dennis Hicks not. Man, what a weekend for Dennis last weekend, by the way, down in Texas. But for you, do you feel that different vibe because there are so many great jumpers, and do you feel like maybe you're taking it upon yourself to be that the top jumper in Kern County?
Yes, I do feel the difference. Since I haven't been competing, I haven't really got a feel of how the rest of the field is in Bakersfield. But having so many great athletes who did long and triple jump move on, and now looking back, like,
It was a special year last year. It truly
Yeah.
was. I mean, there was a lot of attention over there.
yeah, there
And
was.
it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Rick, do you see that? The change in the horizontal jumps this year
Yeah.
in the county?
It's a little bit. I mean, because a lot of kids left, and we're just trying to get Justice where she needs to be. So, but we not only have Justice, but we have Quincy Hicks that's been
Yep.
jumping really
Yeah.
consistently. And,
Who's also part of your mile relay team?
oh yeah,
Justin Frando, and then the fourth is
Luis
Sanchez.
thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Luis, sorry, I know you're probably watching.
Rick, let me ask you when we talk about Justice and sort of managing this injury, do you hold her back? I mean, she may want to go and do more things and run hundreds and all these sort of things. I mean, do you have a plan for how you're going to manage this thing to nurse it back to full strength?
Well, we're always talking about where she is and how she's feeling, and I never, as a coach, want to put in jeopardy the end of the season.
Right.
I mean, dual meets come and go. These meets come and go, and if she's not feeling 100% to do a relay, I don't want her to do the relay. I want her to jump because that's where that's what's gonna take her to college, and that's what she's doing. That's her main thing. So we have that conversation, and she lets us know how she's feeling, and if she's not there, we don't run her. We don't want her to get better.
Justice, is sprinting a different story right now for you than jumping, or are you pretty much able to do both most of the time?
These past couple weeks, I've been able to do both. So, jumping, however, since it's more technical,
Uh-huh.
it is kind of a struggle to get back to where I was last year. And
Just with your steps and
with my steps and my wind down the my speed down the runway. But right now I feel confident going into tomorrow's meet and see how I do.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about a meet like this. It's a high-level meet at a good time in the season because you got a month to go. What's your plan for? You're running 800 and 1600 tomorrow,
And 32.
and 32. So it'll be a big day
maybe-
for you.
And the mile relay.
And maybe.
Again,
And maybe the mile relay.
against some pretty stiff competition, mostly local, but it'll be good competition. What's your strategy for tomorrow to kind of see what you can do when you're exerting yourself that much?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going into with. Like, mainly it's kind of, I'm thinking of it as a practice for league, because I know league I'm going to have to do the 3 to 4 events. And in the duels lately, I haven't really been pushed. And this is going to be a nice track, nice competition to do it. So I'm going to see how I feel throughout all 3 and if I could do the 4x4 after. And also for Valley, see if I could do that mile and 800 back-to-back.
Trevor mentioned Curtis Relkeld, who's now at Cal State Bakersfield, but he was just the latest of really 3 great 800 runners from this city. You had Ivan Gonzalez from Ridgeview, and then you had Isaac Trevino from Centennial, and then Curtis.
Well, don't forget Blake actually won a section title too his sophomore
He did.
year.
He did. You don't think of Blake Haney as an 800 runner, but he could certainly do that as well. When you look at that recent history, how does that make you feel as sort of the latest in the line of that?
It's kind of nerve-wracking. It's those big shoes to fill for all of them. And I feel like after they all left, everyone kind of felt the need to step up, because if you look at it now, the Valley's packed. Like, I'm 53, and then there's like 2-3 guys at 54, and then everyone's 55s, 56. So
Peter Handy at BHS being another one of them, another junior like yourself.
Is that something where you kind of feel the weight on your shoulders, or you embrace that as being, hey, I'm the guy to beat now?
I don't really know. I kind of just go in thinking like competition. I don't like to think about all that, like the pressure of it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just try to go and relax. But I do hear stuff about like coming in being the top runner in the Valley and kind of keeping it going. So it's something I consider, but I try not to think too hard about it.
Rick, when you look at Moises and you look at those long line, and it goes back to Vondre when he won 4 straight, and over the last 20 years, I know you don't want to put a lot of pressure on him, but where do you see him in that long list of 800 runners in the county?
Well, he's still a junior. So.
Yep.
So we'll have to see what next year brings. But just put things into perspective. He didn't run his freshman year.
Yep.
So last year he had a really great triple over at the Gateway to Track and Field event up in Buchanan. Early season, he started off with a 4:23, I think it was, and then he ran a 1:56, and then ended up anchoring with a 50 flat in our 4x4. This season here, he said, "Well, can I run this fresh?" So we were thinking, well, what's he going to run? I said he's going to run 154. He beat that. So I mean, he has the tools, and he's when you have a kid that can run a 49.5 split,
Yep.
He can choose his event.
Right.
So if he decides to focus on the 800, I think he could be one of the best. But then again, he loves the 16. So
I don't disagree.
It's a good problem to have. It's a
Yep.
good problem to have. Justice, you obviously, as Coach said, jumping is sort of that's your number one thing. What's the goal the rest of the year? Obviously, you almost got to 38 your first time back. We know you can get to 38. Is there a number you have in mind beyond that say I need to get there by June?
40 and 20, same as last year.
Okay.
And the ultimate goal is to make it to state again.
So those nice round numbers, 40 and 20, and then.
Yeah.
But if you can get back to state, hey, sometimes weird things happen at state. It doesn't take as much, or maybe it takes more, or you just never know what state's going to do to you.
Look what Dennis did last year. Couldn't get anything going in his first 2 attempts in the finals, and then pops in, takes silver.
If I can say anything about Justice, she's held herself with a lot of poise this year. I mean, a lot of other kids would probably crumble with having a nagging injury that has kept her out of competition so long, and she just kept at it, and she showed a lot of poise at Arcadia, and so I think she's going to be where she needs to be. So
Congratulations.
One more question for you guys before we let you go. When you think about state, you guys are going back as veterans now to state. How will that change your mindset over these next 6 weeks as you prepare to know that now you're not just going for the first time, you're going to maybe do a little more than just experience it?
Going back after last year, it feels like there's a little bit more pressure and anxiety about it, but I'm kind of going prepared. Now I know what to expect, and how it feels to compete at that level, seeing all the guys you hear about from Mile Split, California and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're all on the same line as you, so I feel like I'm prepared and doing some big meets this year, like the Zusa, the Invitational Mile, and the Arcadia. Just getting used to that feel, being on there with the big names. I think I'm ready and excited for it.
Justice, how about you? How do you change your approach to state this year?
Try not to get intimidated by all the amazing athletes at state. Go in and try to relax myself. Focus on more on, abs, water, nutrition before state. And for me, it's just a mental thing I have to work on, not to be.
Focus on yourself and
Yeah,
not on
focus
everybody.
on myself, not
Tunnel
anybody
vision.
else.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, we wish you guys luck, and we hope to check back with you again before state. But in the meantime,
Oh, we're doing the Super Show
yeah,
again.
good luck
Don't you
tomorrow
forget it.
and the rest of the way.
All right,
Thank you.
As Highlands, Moises Medrano, Justice Smith, and Coach Rick Mayberry, thanks for being with us. We'll be back to wrap things up on BVarsity Live right after this.